There's an innocent individual in prison. He should be released, but the Republican Attorney General worked some magic to make sure that this innocent person is not released. Put up the picture full mass. Talk about a miscarriage of justice. In an update, despite a judge's order to release Mr. Christopher Dunn, the black male you see there, who was imprisoned for more than 3 decades on a false conviction, Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey has ordered the prison to keep him behind bars anyway. Although the judge threatened to hold the Attorney General in contempt of court, the Missouri Supreme Court steps in, sided with the Attorney General on this malfeasance late Wednesday evening, keeping Christopher Dunn behind bars despite a judicial order to release him and despite overwhelming evidence that he is completely innocent of any crime, according to KMOV News. With millions watching and many people benefiting from this program called Indisputable, we just need 1% of the viewers to become a paid member so we can continue to bring this content to you. Now back to the show. Quote, Christopher Dunn has been found innocent by 2 separate judges after both judges hearing the evidence before them, Dunn's attorney Justin Bonis told NBC News. Quote, he remains in prison, an innocent man, with his conviction overturned. This is a travesty of justice. The AG should not be fighting the judge's decision. Their job is not to fight to uphold convictions, but to seek justice. That is not what is happening here, Bonis added. And I want to remind everyone, when a prosecutor takes an oath, the prosecutor does not take an oath to uphold convictions, to get convictions. Prosecutor takes an oath to simply uphold justice, to carry out rule of law. There's more. So according to the Associated Press, the AP, top prison official told reporters that Dunn was outside the prison. You got to hear how wild this is. He was outside of the prison waiting for his wife to pick him up. Waiting for his wife to pick him up because a judge said he's innocent of a crime. But minutes later, the official retracted and said the Missouri Supreme Court issued a ruling against his release while Dunn was signing paperwork to be free. If you know a little about the story, you know we've had a lot of disappointments where we thought we'd finally get his freedom, and it was snatched away. Christopher's wife, Kira Dunn, said to the AP, quote, so we were just bracing ourselves. Let me give you a recap. Put up a young 18-year-old Mr. Dunn, okay? Mr. Dunn was 18 when the murder of Rico Rogers occurred. Among the key evidence to convict him was testimony from 2 boys who were at the scene of the shooting. Both later recanted their testimony, saying they were coerced by who? By the police and by the prosecutors involved. That is illegal. A judge has heard Dunn's innocence case before. At an evidentiary hearing in 2020, Judge William Hickel agreed that a jury would likely find Dunn not guilty based on new evidence. But the judge declined to exonerate Dunn, citing a 2016 Missouri Supreme Court ruling that only death row inmates, not those like Dunn sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, could make what's called a freestanding claim of actual innocence. So let me explain this. If you're in a trial and you're the defendant, evidence is presented, there are things that are said that are untrue, but because they follow the rules of evidence, there's no objection from your counsel. Anytime counsel objects, defense counsel objects, it secures or preserves that objection for appeal. So you can appeal based on what you object to, typically. If there are no objections that you can appeal on, you have to then make a freestanding claim of innocence. In Missouri, they have a law that says, well, yeah, you can do that, but only if you're on death row can you claim that the injustice or the reason for appeal is actual innocence, which is insane, obviously. All right, now a 2021 law now allows prosecutors to seek court hearings in cases with new evidence of a wrongful conviction. It has led to the freeing of another longtime inmate, Kevin Strickland, who served more than 40 years. 40 years plus for a Kansas City triple killing, never committed. Lamar Johnson was the second inmate freed as a result of the new law. Dunn's attorney at the Midwest Innocence Project says, and he should be the third. So St. Louis Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner took up his cause after an investigation her office conducted with the help from the Innocence Project. We talked about this, convinced her he was innocent. Everybody who hears the case said, damn, he's innocent. He's completely innocent. This was in a 1994 killing. She previously succeeded in getting a court to set aside the conviction of another man named Lamar Johnson, who spent damn near 3 decades in prison. What in the hell is happening? Put up the court that made this decision. You see something ironic here? The Supreme Court of Missouri, Justices Mary Russell, W. Brent Powell, Zell Fisher, Robin Ransom, Paul Wilson, Kelly Bronick, and Ginger K. Gooch serve on the bench. Now, obviously a miscarriage of justice, obviously adversarial to what the justice system should be about, but to the judges who are part of the judiciary, to the judges who did the right thing, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for doing the right thing. Thank you for releasing this man more than one damn time. To the Attorney General, who's obviously a horrible human being. To the AG's office and the prosecutors that will stand for this. You have an opportunity. You have an opportunity to either say something or get the hell up out of that office and make your protest public. This is not how it is supposed to work. To someone who is advocating for this man, the appeal to the US Supreme Court, obviously, or appeal to a higher court of competent jurisdiction is going to be mandated here. The man is innocent. He's been declared innocent by multiple judges. He's been declared innocent by a prosecutor, but the top prosecutor, the AG, for some reason, whatever political game he's playing, he wants this innocent man to spend the rest of his life inside of a prison for a crime he never committed, which means the person who did commit the crime is free. Jackson, thoughts here?
About nothing but precedent for, supposed law and order and racism. Reminds me a lot of Donald Trump when, the exonerated, and he didn't want them to be let out. He thought they should still face a penalty because of precedent or rule and law backed by racism. We can't let him out because what's that going to say? It'll say that we're soft, but clearly it's just we got to keep this black man locked up because we got to keep people afraid. We got to keep things the way that they are. So it's really not more complicated than that. But unfortunately, these are the types of people who often slip into positions of power while we're not looking. And most importantly, right in our backyards where all of this stuff really tends to take place. So that's why we really got to pay more attention.
Yeah, well said. We're going to stay on top of this story. Hopefully we will be able to see full justice served here. It's going to take people like you, those who give a damn about justice authentically in this country.